I've got to meditate in a minute. But there's something over the last little bit that just keeps coming up for me, and I really wanted to talk about it. I know I have friends and work with people. I mean, just over a good period of time, I've talked to a lot of people that are searching and sometimes even like struggling to not be alone. And for the last 20 years, I've been with Brian. And I dated a lot. I've went on so many dates that I can't even count them. I can't. At one time, I can't even remember them now. I can't remember the names because there's a lot. And but back when I was dating 20 years ago, I could count up to 200 people, and then you know, then I would, like, days later I'd go, oh yeah, I forgot about that person, or I forgot about this person, didn't even think of that person. So I know there's more than 200 people I dated because I was single for 14 years. And I dated a lot every week. When I was in high school, I dated a different person every weekend. I don't know, I just wasn't, I didn't really stick. Nothing ever really stuck. So I didn't like to have those long-term boyfriends or when I was young. It was just a different person I went out with every weekend. And then I don't know, for whatever reason, I wasn't that keen on them, so I didn't go out with them again. So I did a lot of one dates. I've done a lot of one dates. And so I've dated a lot of people. And so I know what it's like. I know what it's like to be single, and I know what it's like to be out there, and I know all the crazy stuff that you do, and I know I've heard it all. I've heard all the times when people say, you know, oh, you're such a good person. One of these days you're going to find somebody that's going to just be perfect for you, and you've just not found the right person, but you will find the right person. They're just waiting on you. Oh my God. It's nauseating now to even think about it. And I hated hearing it then. It's just like, it kind of puts you in that space where, like, you're so special, you need somebody special or whatever. We're all special in some sort of way. So that's not a thing. Everybody's special in some sort of way. But anyway, so I've dated all these people, and I know a lot of people that are out there single, and they're looking for somebody, and they can't, like, figure out how to make it work. But like I said, I've had Brian for 20 years, and for whatever reason, we figured something out. We have so much peace in our life. It's calm. He is, I could not ever say how special he is enough for it to, I just couldn't say it enough for it to mean what it means. He's just awesome. But now, he would say the same thing about me if he was sitting in front of this computer and we were talking. Now, he wouldn't, this is not a conversation he would just start up, but if you ask him, he would tell you that he feels the same way about me. And how we got there was not an accident. And when we got together, we really, I wouldn't even say that we're the same people that we are now. We were very different people right on the beginning. But we had a little something special that never felt like we went on a first date. It seemed like we always knew each other. But at one point early on, he broke up with me because there was somebody that was available that seemed more like you could have that, American dream where you start a family from scratch and you had the fence and the station wagon and the dog and all that. Or, he could stay with me who had children already, and was not that thing that they teach you when you're growing up that you're going to have, which is you're going to meet, nobody ever says, you're going to meet this lady that's been married before and she has 2 kids and you're going to live happily ever after. That's not anybody's dream. So he thought I don't know how much he even liked this girl. She was available, she was single, and she had never been married, and she didn't have kids. So he went for it. So he broke up with me, and that happened. And then we got back together, and I think we were doing pretty good. And I don't know if I got cold feet or what happened to me. I just don't think that I knew how to be in a relationship that was calm, where nobody was screaming at me and nobody was trying to change me, and a relationship with somebody that just let me be me, and it was calm and peaceful, was so out of my comfort zone because I'd never been around it except for my grandparents, seeing them. But my mom had been married 3 times. My dad had been married 3 times. So I didn't really have much of a model for people getting along. So it wasn't the most comfortable thing for me to be with him because it felt boring. Really, a little bit it felt boring because I wasn't used to the calm. So we broke up this time because of me. I dated a bunch in just a very short period of time, and because that's what I do. And then I thought about it, and I thought, gosh, I mean, there's one guy in particular that I dated while me and him were broke up that I kind of thought I liked pretty good, and he was like everybody else I dated. And I told myself, you could probably lose Brian and go on be with this guy, and then a few months down the road this will be over, if not sooner, and you or date somebody else and somebody else and somebody else, and it could be over. Or you could just like go back and try this thing you're afraid of, whatever's made you uncomfortable about it. You could try it and just see what happens. So I thought, I'll just tell myself, and I know this sounds, if you're Brian, it probably doesn't sound good, but he knows. I've said it before. But I just tell myself, okay, you should just go back and throw one leg over the fence, and maybe the rest of your body will follow. You just get one leg over. So I called him and I said, let's try it. Let's try to do this thing. And he agreed, and we did, and we're still doing it. But we both, I guess, Brian said that really me breaking up with him probably was the thing where he thought, oh gosh, yeah, that was all right. Maybe I should make this thing work. But he's not certain that he would have come to that conclusion without me breaking up with him. And I don't know if I would have come to any conclusion without that too. So it worked for us. It was a good thing. But anyway, from that, I just wanted to say, gosh, I could like do a class on all the stuff that I've learned just from being with him. But early on, I'd got out of a relationship before Brian that was close to 7 years long, where I was yelled and screamed at all the time. It's a person I could not satisfy. Always needed me to be something other than what I was. And I heard all the time, if you were like you were when we first met, if you could just go back to that, which was me like, yes, whatever you need, and giving up who I was to make this other person happy. And I'm a grown up now. I'm not 23 anymore, and I don't want to do that. I'm never going to go back to just satisfying one person when I'm the one I should be satisfying. Nobody's going to live this life for me but me, so I need to live it to make myself happy. So I knew that was never going to happen again. So here comes Brian. We're together, and I tell him, because of the situation I was just in, I tell him, look, let's do this thing. I'm going to never try to change you. I know there's going to be things about you that I'm probably not going to like. And there'll be things about me that you won't like. But when I come across that thing that I don't like, I'll just say to myself, hey, this is who he is. This is Brian. This is the way he does things. I would do it different, but that's the way he does it. And I'm going to, be okay with that. I don't have to say anything. I don't have to change it, whatever. He can do his thing. And I asked him to please do the same thing with me. Let's just learn how to love each other exactly how the other is and not try to change that. So we did. We did that. And I don't, right now, if you ask him, he says he don't even remember having that conversation, but we did have that conversation early on. And so that's what it's been like for me for the last 20 years. Being with somebody that never tries to I mean, he really has never, ever said anything, ever, like, I wish you wouldn't, or you shouldn't, or I wish you were different, or you should do it this way, or you should do it that way. He's never done that. And Lance, my son, said today when we were at lunch, he said, I've never met, and this is another reason why I'm doing this video. He said, I've never met two people, how was it he said it? More, basically, however he said it, what he was saying was he'd never met two people that were meant to be together more than me and Brian. We were so perfectly compatible. And I agree totally with that. And Brian agrees with it too. I mean, that's just how we feel. We feel so fortunate. But what I told Lance, I said, this is what if you've never lived life like we've lived, trying to be supportive and love your people through them being exactly who they are, it's so hard to grasp this. But I'm just going to tell you from my perspective, and Brian is a little bit different because he credits me with different things than I credit him for, but he agrees with what my perspective of how I see what he's done for me. He says, yeah, I can see that. I mean, I can see what he says about me if you ask him what kind of credit he gives me in this whole thing. But what I give to him is that for 20 years, I've lived a life where, when you're a child, let me just go back. I'm going to try to make this as short as I can, but it's not going to be short. When you are a child, you always have somebody telling you to do things this way, do things that way, and it's in school, and it's in your home, and it's your grandparents and your parents, and it's your teachers, and it's your community. It's everybody tries to tell you how to do things and how to be a better person. Brian's never done that. For 20 years, I've had somebody always pat me on the back, nudging me to go forward in whoever I am and whatever I am, to just be that full on as hard as I can be it. And in that, even like when I said we were different people on the start, what we were is, as far as being different, what I was that was different was I was a person that knew who I was and what I wanted to do and how I wanted to be, but never had the support for that. Like, I didn't ever feel like somebody said, you know what, you are perfect like you are. I love you exactly. Please don't change a hair on your head. Nobody ever made me feel like that. But Brian, so when you go for 20 years with somebody telling you how fabulous you are and supporting your every single solitary move, you learn for sure who you are more than ever, because it's your opportunity to open that door up and say, hey, here I am. Because that person's going to love you no matter what that is. That person's going to love you. So, that's what he did for me. He made me more of who I am than I've ever been. And I said these words to Lance, and I repeated them to Brian because I wanted him to know exactly how I feel. But in my whole entire life, I've never felt as free in who I am as Brian has made me being with him. He's made me freer being with him than I ever was when I was free, when I was unattached. He made me more free to be me than I was alone to be me. So the reason why I said that is if you are one of those people and you're out there and you're trying to find somebody and you can't figure out why you can't make it work, and or whatever situation you're in, it just seems like you can't figure out how to make it what you want it to be. The first thing you need to do is stop. I know if you're in a situation where you care about somebody in your relationship, you care about them, there's always the tendency to always say, look what you're doing to me. And that's one-sided. You have to think about the other side. Because whatever you're sitting at home at your house and you're going, oh, if he loved me, he'd this. If he loved me, he would that. Or if she, whatever. If you're sitting at home doing that, and then when you get to them and you're like beating them up about why they didn't or whatever, or how they made you feel about it, when you're beating them up over that, they're probably, when they feel like maybe they hadn't called you or been there when you needed them or whatever at that precise time, they probably already know, and they're probably sitting at their house dreading seeing you the next time, because they think, as soon as I see that person, they're going to chew me up and spit me out. And who wants, I mean, like, I'd be so thrilled to go see that person if I knew they were going to bitch me out as soon as I got there. So, you have your side and they have their side. But what if you said to yourself, okay, so whatever I'm thinking, the negative stuff that I'm thinking, where I'm saying to myself, oh, if he loved me, he would this. If he loved me, he would do that. What if you said to yourself, that's the negative part of it. But what if you said to yourself the positive part of it, like, he's busy right now, she's busy right now, whichever, and they've got things they're doing, and as soon as the opportunity arises, they will call me. And what if you just thought about that? Because there's just as great a possibility as that they're doing something good and that they're going to get back to you as there is that they're doing something bad that they're trying to hide. And when you go to them and you fuss on them and they haven't done anything wrong and they have to fight that battle anyway, that's another reason why it would push you away. So what I'm proposing is, the next time you're in a situation, no, not the next time, right now, after you watch this, whatever you're doing, tell yourself, I'm going to support this person. It doesn't matter what my friend said. Oh, I would never let somebody treat me like that. Who cares what they say? Who cares? They would. They'll do stuff they say they'd never do. You'll do stuff you said you never do. But what if, just for this going forward, you just say, you know what, I'm going to support this person. I'm going to try to understand why things are not exactly like I wanted them to be, when I wanted them to be that way. And when I need assurance, I'm going to ask for it. Because you can't have these arguments in your head with somebody and sit in your house and for 13 and have 13 different arguments with them before you see them the next time because they didn't do things the way you wanted them to do it. They don't know you've had 13 arguments with them. All they know is when you come, they see you, you're like right in their face. They don't know about all these arguments that you've had where you're confused about the situation. So what you say, when you're in that situation, just go to them, support whatever their thing was that they had going on. Just support that, and if you feel a little insecure, just say, I don't know what I'm going through. Sometimes when you don't call, I get a little insecure, and I feel like maybe I just need reassurance today that you like me, right? Just ask for it. Don't play a game. Don't try to maneuver your little chess pieces. So if I move here, then they'll move there. And if I move here, they'll move there. Be honest and be direct. And I know people have taught you to play that game like hold back, pull, go forward, hold back, go forward, hold back, and all that stuff to try to maneuver people into what you want them to do. But that's a game you're never going to win. Just give up on that. Because I'm telling you, you can't see this because nobody ever does it. But if you support somebody and who they are and they feel like, you know what, gosh, this person's always got my back. I've never had anybody that's had my back like this person's had my back. Like, I know sometimes I make them feel bad and I make them feel crazy, but gosh, they like really support me when I need it. It will change everything in the dynamic of your relationship. It will change everything. Because first of all, they won't even like it only takes one person to change. And like so the first time you do that, maybe that you don't get the response that you want. But hey, you know what? Do it one more time. And then do it one more time. And you will see that at some point they're going to take notice. And what you did when you did your usual thing, you react, they pull back, and then you react and they pull back and you react. You set up at some point. You set it up. I guess how should I say this? You've learned the game, like they've learned the game. She's gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this, and she's gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this. So after a couple times, when they do that, and you don't do the thing that you normally do, and the next time you don't do the thing that you normally do, and they realize that the reaction that they normally get is different, theirs will start to be different. I promise you, this will work. Support the person. Let them know that you like them like they are. Always be supportive. And I'm not saying let somebody walk all over you. I'm just saying sometimes when you think they're walking all over you, they're not walking all over you. They're playing defense. They're playing defense. So, oh my gosh, I could go on forever. But I'm going to kind of leave it at that because I think that's a lot, especially if you've never done that. That is huge what I just told you. And you're going to think I'm crazy until you try it. But if you do, you'll see. Just one time, don't react your normal reaction. React supportive. And you might not be feeling supportive the first few times you do it, but when you do it and you see that it kind of makes a difference, you're going to get supportive. Because when you get supportive, they're going to be supportive of you. And, a little at a time and a little at a time, you're going to feel it coming together. And then maybe 20 years from now, you'll be sitting in front of your iPad and you'll be doing a video to tell people how loved you feel and how free you feel. And, you're going to want to share it. You're going to say, hey, this is how you do it because I did it and it works. So, anyway, if anybody ever has a question, honestly, please email me. My email is on my blog. It's on there. So if you want to email me, I promise I'll answer any kind of question about this. If you're in a situation and you want to email me and say, this is my situation and I know what you said and I can't really quite figure out how to put that. I don't know how to work that out with this particular situation. I'll give you some advice on it because I promise you, I just want everybody to be as happy as I've been and as happy as this dude makes me, I do. Like, we were listening to a song the other day, and I can't think of the dude's name. If I had my telephone, I'd tell you, but there's a line in it that said that I want to live with you when we're ghost because you're the one that's always been there when I needed you most or something like that. And I told Brian, I was like, that was like the sweetest lyric. And I said, I want to be with you when you're a ghost. We would be like the best ghost couple ever. And he goes, I want to be with you when I'm a ghost too. Because I know it was the sweetest thing. But anyway, you guys go find your ghost partner and stay with them and support them and let them support you. We're all worthy of it. None of us are special. And I know people do stuff and they mess up and we're not always perfect. And like I said, Brian broke up with me for a girl that had big boobs. That's what I always tell him. You broke up with me for boobs. And we laugh about it because we know it. Whatever we did helped us. You know, when that stuff happened, it helped us. It was what we needed at the time, and it might be what you guys need. And if you've not both been supportive of each other and you've messed up and done stuff, you can forgive that. You just don't keep throwing it up to the person. Just say, you know what, if I'm going to live with this, I'm going to live with this, and I'm going to shut up about it and never bring it up again. And we're going to move forward. I'm going to be supportive, and they're going to be supportive of me. And we're just going to love each other forever and be ghosts together. So, anyway, this is how you get to be a ghost with somebody. So, anyway, I'm going to sign off. And I hope that you listen to this, and I hope that it helps you. Oh my gosh, if anybody watched this and then it helped them and they were happy and they found somebody that's just like their soulmate in the ghost world. Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine anything in the world that would be better than knowing that this helped somebody. I really want everybody to have what I have. So kisses and love and peace and all that fun stuff. Did you see my nose ring? Oh my gosh. Sorry. But anyway, that's not, that is my thing. Okay. I'm going to shut up and go. So, bye. I'm going to turn this button off right